What is up, everyone? Welcome to Heroes Avenue. My name is Darian, and today we're going to be talking about strictly Birds of Prey because the Birds of Prey cast and producers and directors spoke with Collider and did a short interview with them and talked about certain things that are in the movie and what's not in the movie. And first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about Batgirl because that's one thing that a lot of us were talking about when this first movie was announced. That where's Batgirl? Where is Barbara Gordon? Of course, Cassandra Cain is, I guess you could say she is Batgirl, but she's just a little kid. But the Barbara Gordon that is supposed to be part of the Birds of Prey team is not going to be in the movie. And the producer, Sue Kroll, she went and talked to Collider and spoke about this. And when they asked about where's Batgirl, she said this. She said, "You'll not see Batgirl. Just going to say no. This is a studio question. That character's in development on her own film, right?" So she goes and says that she's not gonna be in this film because WB basically has other plans for her. So, AKA she has her own solo film somewhere down the line. And I want to point it out to you guys. Do you think it's a good idea for WB to leave her out of the picture? And why do you guys think they leave her out of this movie? I personally feel like Batgirl is too big enough of a character to be in this movie if Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie's going to be in this movie, because it's going to outshine Margot Robbie's character, Harley Quinn. I mean, if you have a Birds of Prey movie without Harley Quinn, of course, put Barbara Gordon in there. But since Harley Quinn's going to be in there, and she wants to be the star of this team, it would make sense for them to take her out of there and introduce her a better way in her own solo film. Of course, maybe later down the line, maybe if this movie gets successful and they go out with a sequel, and this Batgirl solo movie is successful as well, maybe Batgirl goes ahead and joins them in the sequel and becomes part of the Birds of Prey team. But I think if they have better plans for a Batgirl solo movie, I hope they go with that first. Because of course, when Joss Whedon was originally supposed to make the Batgirl movie, he said he couldn't quite crack her, which I don't really believe him. Because I feel like he's good at making strong female characters in his projects because of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think he was able to crack it, but hey, if WB has other plans for her or wants to go a different direction, I'm all for it, as long as they are confident in what they do with the Batgirl and not mess her up. Because you only have one chance with this. You only have one Batgirl movie, and you have to do it right, and introduce her in the right way. And I know a lot of people could compare this with the Wonder Woman franchise, right? How she was introduced in BVS, and a lot of people felt like she wasn't, her first introduction wasn't as strong as it should have been if they just went out with a solo film first and just introduced her there. But of course, she had her solo film, and everyone loved it, and now everyone's excited for 1984. But of course, again, if Harley Quinn was not in this movie at all, I feel like it would make perfect sense to put Batgirl in this Birds of Prey movie. But of course, if you put Batgirl in there, that does kind of diminish the story arc for Black Canary and Huntress, right? Because I guess you pay more attention to Batgirl because she would pretty much outshine everybody. Because of course she's a Bat family member. They outshine everybody in every movie. But yeah, those are Sue Kroll's thoughts on, or her quote on Batgirl in this Birds of Prey movie. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And then of course, the director has to come in and talk about how this movie is connected to the Suicide Squad movie. And she says, there is not any known amount of time. No, it kind of exists in a parallel timeline. She continues and says, with Suicide Squad, she's so connected to the Joker. I mean, their story is so intertwined. It really is their love story, if you will. But this is not, and so I think that gave us a lot of opportunity to say, like, what is she like? Not necessarily post-Joker, but just in almost like a parallel universe, and allowed all of us the freedom to say, like, we're gonna create a different Gotham. So I don't think she really means parallel universe like we're used to in the comic sense. I think it mostly means it allows the creative team just to kind of run off and do whatever they want with the story and not worry about connecting with the Suicide Squad and what she did there and how she broke out of prison. But if that doesn't make any sense to you, the producer came out and talked about this exact topic, and she says, well, you'll see it in the movie. It's a standalone movie. It's not connected to the Suicide Squad. It's not a sequel. It's not a continuation of that story. So it has nothing to do with her breakout of prison. But you're right, and we've been very upfront that this is about her emancipation. She and Joker have broken up. This is her personal journey of discovery with these women. So it's not related at all. So don't try to apply linear logic to how the two go, because they really don't. And so there you go. So this movie is definitely separate from what happened in Suicide Squad, and it's kind of its own thing, and kind of exploring Harley Quinn's journey as a person and her relationship with the Joker, and kind of breaking out of that relationship and becoming her own woman. And that, of course, with the current state of DC, I think this makes perfect sense, and this allows them to do whatever they want compared to the structure that MCU has built. Even though it's successful, MCU can't really do this kind of stuff. And so I think DC has something quite unique going on with the universe, and I'm glad they're able to kind of break out of that formula and kind of let their imagination and creativity kind of flow on. So that's it for today's video. I want to know your guys' thoughts on all this. I know it's a lot to digest, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.